Welcome to the Irish Snug Podcast. So today we're talking fairways, Atlantic winds, and the undeniable magic of the 19th hole. Joining us in the Snug is Dennis O'Carroll, a South Kerry native who brought a piece of Ireland across the pond to Florida to build Doc's Tours. Dennis doesn't just book tee times, he builds genuine bucket list journeys that drop golfers and music lovers right into the heart of authentic Irish culture, from world-class links to the finest local pub sessions. Pull up a stool, grab a pint, and let's talk golf stories and the road across Ireland. Dennis, welcome to the Snug.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
Great having you on the show, and looking forward to talking a little bit about golf in Ireland, golf trips. I personally have already been on one of your golf trips a couple of years ago with the FDNY Bagpipe Band, and we had a great time, absolutely great time. Hit some really good golf courses, and I can't wait to do it again, to be honest. So really looking forward to hearing all about your Doc's Tours and learning more about it.
Absolutely. Look forward to it, Tim. Can't wait to get you guys over there again.
Tell me some early memories of golf and music and the community you grew up in.
Yeah, so I grew up in a small village called Waterville. My parents were in the bar and restaurant and hotel business, and same as the whole family, really. My uncles and grandparents, they were all in the hospitality industry in the Ring of Kerry. And, that sparked the music side of things. You know, we used to have music at the height of it. We were 7 days a week in the Jolly Swagman, which was the pub. And the golf course was just a mile away, Waterville Golf Links. And there's no more special place to learn to play golf than Waterville Golf Links.
How old were you when did you start golfing when you were young?
I did, but I stopped when I was young too. Playing Gaelic football, it was hard to play too much golf when you're training every day. Now I'm hoping that I can finally put the time in, get the handicap down.
Yeah, I think that's the goal forever, right?
Yeah.
You're always in trying to improve your golf game.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me this morning, though, but
I'm going to try tomorrow.
Yeah.
3 weeks in a row doing a round.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you in Florida right now, or where are you?
I'm in Florida, yeah.
Yeah. Do you get much golf in Florida?
Well, the plan is to try and play at least once a week going forward. Kind of getting things more organized with business that it'll allow me to play once a week anyway, and then the occasional bonus of a weekend round.
How did a Kerry man end up heading to Florida and then starting Doc's Tours from Florida?
So I was in the bar business in New York. I had a pub in Garden City, and the clientele was very much a golf-orientated crowd. From there, the idea started kind of brewing in my head. People were always coming in and saying, hey, where do you recommend? What do you recommend? When do you recommend going to Ireland? So I had it in the back of my head and moved to Florida. My wife ended up taking a fellowship in USF. So we were living in Tampa. Hadn't really figured out what I wanted to do after I sold the bar, and I went caddying. It was my first round caddying in Florida, and a gentleman said that he was thinking about having a golf trip to Ireland as his 60th celebration. And he was an ex-Islanders hockey player, and he was there with a bunch of his friends. So he says, Dennis, you might be able to recommend somebody. And I said, I got just the person for you. So we were on the second hole. So I went into the trees, got down low where I couldn't be seen. And I called a buddy of mine and I said, can you jump online and start getting the paperwork ready and making a very basic website to register a company as Doc's Golf Tours and also to set up a website for Doc's Golf Tours. So by the end of the the end of the round, I had a company, and I gave him my number, and I said, call this guy, and he will take care of you. And that was it. It was born from there.
That's great. That's quick thinking.
Yeah, yeah, worked out well.
Oh, that is great.
I'm glad I had my coffee that morning.
What year was that?
2017.
And when? So you lived in Garden City. You had a pub in Garden City. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that pub?
Well, it was in Garden City South on Nassau Boulevard. It was called Doc O'Grady's. Still
Okay.
called Doc O'Grady's.
Oh, it's still.
Yeah.
Do you have a part of it still or no?
No, totally out of the bar business.
Yeah, yeah. Was anybody from the Garden City Country Club there? Is that you said there was a lot of golfers in there?
Yeah. So most of the guys would be members of Cherry Valley, the golf club, and the country club.
I have a friend of mine that's I played there last year at Garden City. Nice course, flat.
At the golf club or at the country club?
At the country club.
Yeah. They just redid it. Yeah, it's supposed to be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I just had a group from there. Got back from Ireland yesterday. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from the fire department actually.
Okay. So now that you have your business, what separates Doc's Tours from the regular cookie cutter type golf tour companies?
I think it's the communication difference. People can pick up the phone as long as they're a client. They can just pick up the phone and call my cell phone any time of the day. We do set up chats very early on for questions so that people don't end up. If you 4 guys in a group asking the same question, it's counterproductive. So we set up WhatsApp chats, get everybody on there, and any questions in the year running up to the trip, they just pop it on there. And periodically we just gather information to kind of get the excitement generated. A couple of months in advance, we start talking about restaurants, entertainment, other attractions in the area. For instance, you have an early round of golf. It's nice to hit up Castle in the evening or take a cliff walk or something like that. We keep it very boutique, like everything's still done old school. Being able to talk to somebody, it really helps find the perfect trip for that person. You get a good feel for what they want and what they might like.
For golfing, that's the perfect setup for something like that. You want to be able to, talk it through and be able to talk to somebody and the same person. That's another good, you're talking to the same person. So it's great to have a boutique type setup for golf tours. So you say that you like to have people experience Ireland like a local. So if you could explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So I love surprising groups with little stops along the way. Obviously it all depends on tea times and scheduled dinners and things like that. But I love being able to go into a town that's not, it's on the road home. It's a town that's often just driven through, and you can stop in some of the best bars in Ireland. Just don't get visited because they're on the main ring of Kerry, but they're not. They're not part of a scheduled tour bus stop, and for that reason, I just love being able to do that because when people are talking about it, they're talking about a pub that not everybody's been to, and it's still very unique.
Yeah,
like hidden treasures, just like finding a golf course that is still, priced well below what it should be priced at, and it's the same thing with the bars.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've experienced that myself doing the Ring of Kerry with friends of mine. We were driving. We have a bus driver that's driving us, but we use the same guy all the time, and he'll just stop wherever we want to stop. And we were in Cahersiveen, and we stopped at
Mike Mertz.
Mike Mertz, man, that is a great pub.
It's a great pub.
That is a great pub, and that's I don't know if that's a stop that I don't think buses are stopping there.
That would be a stop I would highly recommend.
Yeah.
I do highly recommend.
And an excellent pint, by the way, too.
Yes.
And how do you
Arguably
pronounce
the
that
best
town
pint.
again? I've been saying
Cahersiveen.
Cahersiveen.
Yeah.
Cahersiveen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that on my. I have a whole map of Ireland of all the pubs that we've been to. I think I told you this. We do a pub crawl
Yes,
every
right.
year, and we're approaching 200 pubs right now. But Mike Mertz has got like a nice little star next to it. You know,
Nice.
that's a
Yeah,
nice little spot.
Cahersiveen. A lot of great history from that region as well. Um, so Cahersiveen was the birthplace of Daniel O'Connell, who was known as the Liberator. Not sure if you saw any signage pertaining to that, but he grew up then about 20 miles further on along the Ring of Kerry in Derrynan House. Not grew up. That's where he had property after Cahersiveen.
No, that's a great place. The Blind Piper, that's a nice place, but I would imagine there probably are some buses that stop there. But I always liked the Blind Piper too.
Blind Piper's a great pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, the coaches don't stop there as much. And the bar in the corner, Freddy's, no longer exists. So, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's
As a
kind of, you
great
got to know
spot.
where it is though, because it's not right on the Ring of Kerry. You got to come off a little bit, right?
Yeah, you come off you have to walk about 500 yards from the main road.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice pointing out those little gems.
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
We'll get to that in a minute. So what makes playing golf on Irish links like Ballybunion, Waterville, Tralee, Old Head, Lahinch a bucket list experience for golfers?
For a lot of people who haven't experienced links golf in Ireland or Scotland, it's almost like the fairy tale when you step on the first tee, and you can always hear the waves because you're a true links course. You're on the ocean. You can hear the waves. The wind is blowing. There's no waterlogged areas in the golf course in front of you, and it's like you're taken back to where golf was founded and how the sport was founded, and it just hits you different. Like yourself, we've played some amazing golf courses here in the States, but there's nothing like the experience of standing on a tee box in Ireland, and you just have all those elements that you associate with how golf was founded.
Right. And then there's also the added element of the starter, the caddies. There's something a little special about Ireland when you experience the people. Like if you go to any great golf course in America, you're not going to get the same experience with the people. So what separates a caddy in Ireland from just any great golf course in America or any other place in the world?
So I think the caddies and the starters embody the whole hospitality side of Ireland and the happy side of Ireland. The caddies, for the most part, are fantastic golfers. They're playing golf at that course, growing up there, playing there every evening. And they love to be able to share that, and they love to be able to talk about it. You're getting a great caddy experience, but also it's the relationship where they're telling you where you can go for a pint afterwards, where's a good place to grab some food. They're more than just caddy. And for instance, you take a starter. Have you played Tralee?
I have not played Tralee, no.
So I love when people go to Tralee and they meet John. He comes outside and introduces himself to everybody. I mean, it's just that welcome is second to none. Same when you go to Waterville, Miriam's out there greeting you, coming in the door. It's that welcome goes so far.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
Sure does. And when I remember I told you I played at Cairn, and before I was going up to Cairn, I watched they had like a little video of hole by hole, and a guy would explain about the different holes, and it was the first hole. Now I don't know if he's a starter there or if he's just like one of the management guys there. I'm not even sure, but he's doing the video, and he just comes out and says, "Well, this hole right here is probably the easiest hole on the course, and if you don't par this one, you might as well go in for a pint." I thought that was funny. And then when he says, He says, the idea here is to just hit it straight. And if you hit it to the right or to the left, unfortunately, it's going to be carnage.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just that little slight humor.
those dunes are second to none too.
Yeah. It's just that little
Incredible.
piece of humor, that kind of breaks the ice, especially when you're coming up to the first hole.
Yeah, those little things just they start you off and put you in the right frame of mind, and you're already enjoying the round, regardless of what lies ahead.
Yeah. So I told you that one of the things I want to do with the podcast is start getting like a manager, maybe a caddy, maybe somebody from the course, from every course in Ireland. That's that's my goal, is to get somebody, and we'll do a whole podcast on that particular course. We'll do the history. We'll do, what the top 2 or 3 holes are, or what's special about this hole. And then obviously we'll talk about the 19th hole and things to do afterwards. But it would be great if you can hook us up with that, and then we can create the information flow for people to. They say, well, I want to go to that course, and we'll do it through docs. That's kind of the goal.
Absolutely.
And then the end game is, when guys go to Ireland, do their trip, I'd love to have, some of them who are interested in being in a podcast to tell us about their experience. It'd be great to hear their side of, we listened to the podcast and they talked about this hole and that hole, and it was right on the money, and we got there, and I was a little bit, more prepared for this particular hole, that kind of stuff. You know? So it all comes together. Do you got any personal favorite golf courses or hidden gems for the 19th hole, or anything you want
to? So after Old Head, it's nice to hit the speckled door. After Waterville, Villa Marie, great place for a pint afterwards, and then for dinner in Dooley's. After playing Tralee or Ballybunion, I love to go to Listowel. Now, it's not a common place to go after you play around the golf, but John B's, the pub owned by, no, he's no longer with us, but John B. Keelan, one of Ireland's greatest writers. It's just a really cool, traditional, old school pub. You associate with storytelling and music sessions and so on.
Are most of your golf tours in like the southwest of Ireland, or do you go all over Ireland?
I go all over. A lot of times the first time around, people are going to go to the southwest, just because it's got so many bucket list courses in such a small area, and then from there they'll move up north or over to the Dublin region, like the east of Ireland there. Right now, it's essentially broken down into the southwest, the west, the northwest, and Northern Ireland, and then Dublin.
Do you get a lot of repeat golfers or groups?
Probably 90% repeat or referral from other members of the same club. Yeah, so very much word of mouth is how it travels for us.
And the groups that are coming and calling you, like obviously we were the FDNY bagpipe band that booked our trip through you. Where are there like groups of just friends doing this? Are there corporate people calling you? What's like the
mostly friends? 40th, 50th, 60th, and 70th birthdays, big ones, and guys want to pull together the old friends for kind of a landmark birthday. And then a lot of couples trips. Couples ones are very, very big. You also have the football, bringing over a lot of people. Like last year, Pittsburgh Steelers played, and then in the colleges, this year they have Wisconsin. 27 is Wisconsin. I'm not even sure who's playing this year. Oh, Tar Heels this year.
Oh, Tar Heels. Okay.
Yeah, and TCU.
So that's all up in Dublin, right? So you book a bunch of outings up there?
Well, no. What people typically do there is they'll spend the week before golfing, our scenic touring, and then up to Dublin for the last 2 nights. So they get to see the country before the game or after the game. Same with the Ryder Cup next year.
Right.
It's not, everybody isn't necessarily going to the Southwest because, everything is already sold out. So
I got my Ryder Cup shirt on right now from Beth Pages.
very nice.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my son went. That was good. So it's not just about the golf. It's also about the authentic Irish experience, the music, the food, the pints, all of that. And you obviously have been doing this for a while now, and you have some great relationships with not just the golf clubs, but also the pubs themselves and the restaurants and all that, right? Throughout all of Ireland.
Yeah, throughout Ireland. And that's another thing that really, really brings people back, is just not having to think about those things. And, guys don't want to be Googling where's good for the next spot. Just lay it all out for them. We have the chat going, and hey guys, if you're in Killarney, you should hit Tatler Jack, you should hit the Grand. Music, we'll know exactly where there's music every night. So we let people know dinner recommendations every evening.
Yeah.
And if we haven't booked anything, we'll just keep the recommendations coming the day of.
Yep.
Just in case something sparks.
Are all of the places that you have your golfers stay, are they all like close to the golf courses, or do you, like, let's say somebody wants to go off to Dingle and there's no real golf courses out by Dingle, right?
There is.
Not that I'm aware of. Oh yeah, there is.
Dingle Golf Club. Yeah, it's really, really coming up in the rankings. Beautiful spot.
I'm sure it is. I mean, that's actually a good move. Dingle is great. I love Dingle.
Yeah, great town. Yeah. So as far as a good base is probably what's important. You can, when you're doing the Southwest, you do a night in Lahinch, we'll say at the start or at the end, Old Head, try and do a night in Kinsale. And then the 5 days in between, you're in Killarney. And Killarney is good because it's an hour to Ballybunion, an hour to Tralee, hour and 15 minutes to Waterville, 30 minutes to Dukes. And, Killarney is right on your doorstep, 5 minutes outside the town. You go further northwest. Ballina is always a good spot. There's Mount Falcon Estate, which is just absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah.
But nice and close to town too. And we use the Ballina Manor a lot, which is right in the middle of town. Then you have Cairn, Enniscrone, Connemara Links, and you have Sligo. And then, of course, you move all the way up to Donegal, and you got Letterkenny, which would service Letterkenny or Rossapena. And then you have Ballyliffin, 2 courses. You have Port Salin, Northwest Links. There's just so much golf up there too. And just if you have a central place, it's great because the drive back, that's when you get to hit the road less traveled. Let's put it that way. Like as far as pubs that not everybody's going to be stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were up in, we were staying in Derry, but we came over the border and we went up to Buncrana.
Oh, Buncrana, yeah.
Yeah, what a nice town. But when we were coming down through Buncrana, one of the locals had told us, oh, you have to go to this particular pub. And it was definitely off the beaten path. I can't remember the name of it, but there wasn't even a sign outside that said that this was a pub. It would look like a house. It just looked like a house, but it was a nice little pub inside. Those are the places that I love.
Those are the places. That's great. I mean, there's a great stop on the Ring of Kerry, the Black Shop on Shippadub. And I mean, just that's another place. It just brings you back. And then you have Sneem. There's multiple pubs in Sneem.
Yeah.
Old school pubs. Just makes it special.
So what's your favorite golf hole in all of Ireland? Your favorite one hole? Do you have one?
I do. I would say the 18th at Waterville.
All right. What makes it so special? I haven't played Waterville.
So it's O'Grady's Beach, which John O'Grady would have been related to us through my mother's side, and he was one of the owners of Waterville Golf Links at one time. But it's called O'Grady's Beach. You can play it up to six. I think the tips are like 605 or 615, and it's downhill. But the view from up there, I know that everybody talks about the 17th, up top, Mahoney's Point. You can see all the way around, but the view on the 18th at Waterville, just looking out at the cliffs in the distance, which are now underneath Hog's Head. I mean, it's just breathtaking. You can see the whole village all the way down. It's special golf hole.
How about what is your favorite go-to spot for a pint after any round of golf anywhere in all of Ireland?
I would say Dooley's in Waterville.
You're a Waterville guy. You're a Waterville guy. You're picking your hometown.
Yeah, it's the first one that came to mind, though. I guess that's... Yeah. So outside of that, I mean, Old Head, out in the balcony in Old Head, that's pretty special. I mean, if it's not raining, there's nowhere better to be than on the deck outside the clubhouse, overlooking 18, the lighthouse.
Is there anything you want to add about Doc's Tours? How do people contact you? Your website?
Yeah, the best way to get in touch, you can call us at 516-606-9515. Our email, dennis@docsgolftours.com.
Perfect. And that's your website, docsgolftours.com.
Docsgolftours. Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. All right, Dennis, we'll definitely be in touch. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds great, Tim.